now be moving to Turkey, where we will be speaking with our next speaker, Carla. Carla did her Bachelor in Industrial Design in her graduation project, where she received a Red Dot Award in 2009. With a multidisciplinary range of early work experience in architecture, graphic design, point of purchase and branding agencies, she then went to Milan to do her Master's of Science at the Politecnico di Milano in Product Service System Design. She now lives in Turkey, where she has started her journey in design leadership at Atelier. Carla, you'll have to correct my pronunciation there. An award-winning strategic design and creative platform specializing in multidisciplinary collaborations, where she now works as the cross-practice design director. Welcome, Carla.
Thank you so much. It's really great to be here. Hi, everyone. I hope this is the next 20 minutes are enlightening and fun for you to watch. So I'll just start sharing my screen. I'm Brazilian, but I live in Turkey, and I'm a design director at Atelier. To briefly, quickly give you like an overview of Atelier, because it's an important part of how my journey into leadership came about. We are a community-powered creative services organization. So Atelier basically started as a community first, with this genuine intention of just putting great people at the same space under the same roof. And as a result of having great people, purpose-driven people wanting to do good work, projects started coming in. And for the last 5 years, we have also worked as a global design consultancy on innovation projects. Our community consists of creative leaders, thinkers, and innovators through all different types of fields, from strategy, business, technology, social sciences, and so on. We are also part of Q. So Atelier, since 2019, is a sister company with others like IDEO and SY Partners, and that I had the luck to work with and learn a lot from. And that also puts us in a contextual of 2,500 different people within this community. So through strategy and design, we help organizations tackle complex challenges for lasting impact. And our projects go through all different levels of the innovation cycle, starting from how we can ignite change, how we help them envision possible futures, build it through spaces, digital or brand, and then grow in terms of learning and growing their own communities. So as you can see, our field of work is quite broad. We have many different design disciplines. And I think that the challenges of leading in the context of being able to operate in all these different domains and being able to quickly engage people from this very vast community in all these different fields, from different walks of life and different levels of expertise as well, is the challenges that as leaders we face in Atelier at every project, at every day. And I feel, and so these are the lessons that I've learned being a leader there for the last 5 years that I came today to share. So my journey into leadership and my first rookie mistakes started with the first project that I was invited to lead with Atelier. Was a project for Mercedes, where the scope was about reinventing sales and after sales for automotive retail experience. And the interesting thing here was that I was actually invited to be just a design researcher, because the team didn't know much about service design, which was my background, my specialty. And as I stepped into the project and started bringing to the maps, the journeys, and the blueprints, and so on, it became clear that service design had to be the role that led the project until the end. And my biggest struggle actually in this first project, as the first time being leader, was being a leader and the doer, having to be there and wanting to be there as the main designer. So as bringing the team together, it was really hard for me to pull in people and give them meaningful work, and I had to be this person basically juggling with different people's skills and availabilities. So that was a big challenge for me to learn from. Um, then the next one was a project we did with New Lab in Brooklyn, and it was about smart cities and mobility platform enabling entrepreneurships to flourish. And this was a project mainly on design research and systems thinking, thinking about how we could use technology to help a city with meaningful data and meaningful innovation. And here, as a leader in this project, this time I was their leader from the beginning, but I was not the person who was forming the team. So I came into the project, and I was also presented to the others that would work with me. And throughout that project, I had to figure out, what are the people within the team, which skills they bring, how to engage them. And some were actually doing a design project for the first time and had little background in design. And I underestimated the time that it took to actually teach these newbies in design thinking, let's say, and make them catch up with the complexity of the work that we were doing. So having a conscious mind about who the team is and what are the superpowers they bring and how we can engage in them was a big learning in this project for me. And then from that onwards, we started working with major corporations in Turkey and beyond. This one with Turkcell was just one of them, where we were working with their customer experience department. And the challenge for me here was that I was the only non-Turkish speaker in this project. So although I was a leader of the project, technically, I had to find a way to empower my teammates that were working with me, that were actually my mentees, and that I'm super proud of until this day. Awesome, very talented people, but I had to basically work through this transferring of leadership, this transferring of ownership, and being able to guide the projects through them, endorsing them to do the work. And that's also not very easy to do, share the leader seat and be able to invite people to lead with you. So throughout this journey, this is just a snapshot of the things that I've been doing at Atelier, to also give you a little bit of context so that you understand where I came into for the topic of today, which is leading via signature moments. Signature moments is a topic, a theme used in strategic design for many companies, and a lot of the times is used in the context of the brand. How you make a brand, how you create signature moments for a brand or a product or an experience with the intention of making it differentiating, to make it stand out from its competitors, basically, in the market, right? And I think that when we do design projects in the consultancy world, a lot of the times, maybe 70% of the times, you were first focused on the scope. What is the challenge that you're trying to solve? So signature moments for the brand, for the product.
Full cream milk, full cream yogurt.
Sorry. Yeah. So leading you through signature moments through this has this first, I think, the mass intention of thinking about the differentiating impact you're going to do. And some consultancies or some scopes of work, I think that also considering signature moments for the client. They understand that if you actually do a great relationship with the client, then you're going to foster more work. So they shift their focus from what we are producing as a team into the relationship we are building with the client. And for me, through these past years, and after all that I've learned, I think that if you think about signature moments for the team, the people that are there side by side with you, in the trenches with you, that will be delivering the work with you and building the relationships with the clients, that's the for me, the key that unlocks the true potential of any collaboration and any transformation. So the signature moments, the term for me also was inspired from this book, Power of Moments. It's a recommended reading for me. It's one of the books that inspired me the most, gave to me by a very good friend. And the book talks about how key defining moments in our lives have moments of elevation, insight, pride, and connection. And I believe that this framing is also very inspiring for the team moments, the way we lead teams through a project and through organizations as well. It's not just a project is just a part in our life as designers within the context of our professional journey. So I am borrowing the framing from this book with these 4 topics and transferring into it what I learned about leading teams. So let's start with, my how my tweet for the presentation today is all about leading people. And leading people in the design field, in the design context, means leading people who are intrinsically creative, ambitious, passion driven. It's people who want to make a mark in the world. So these signature moments are the ones that I believe that can really help unlock people's full potential through the projects, and they are team moments. So starting with elevation, for me, it all starts with how people show up to the challenge, how people show up to a project, and in turn, how you as a leader show up to them. And to me, it starts with the one-on-ones and the relationships we build. These are photos of very dear work peers that I have in Atelier, and how we always try to find time to talk through the week, no matter how busy the week is. And sharing moments even with our kids, meeting and playing with each other. It's in this expensive time that we dedicate and then we intentionally fight for to have with the people that we care about, that we build this elevation, this feeling for others that are in the project with you or in the team with you, that they matter. And that's where the elevation comes from. It's seeing each other as a whole individual and understanding that people will only be able to shine their true light in design and bring their full potential and bring their full performance if they are able to arrive with their whole selves, with their whole heart, with their fears, with their baggage, with their ambition, with their dreams. So our roles as the leader is to first welcome that person with all that, just not just as a skill set that you have in your team. So the creative spark only comes from us shining our true light, and there is only true share with trust, and trust comes with this expensive time that we dedicate to form these true relationships. The next point is about insight, and insight is all about learning. It's about how people learn and how you nurture space for growth. And thinking about people's learning journeys is thinking about how we experiment and how we as a leader open space for experiments within the project or within the context of the organization. If you're thinking about creative people that you're working with, you need to allow room for agency and you need to allow room for growth. And I think one of the biggest illusions of experiments, we talk a lot about it in the lean startups and entrepreneurship and so on, but we forget to take in consideration that experiments are painful. They are hard. Growing is hard. So how do you make space for people to experiment, fail soon and fail often so that you learn early? Is one of the things that I always try to bring in mind. I try to start projects or start relationships with smaller tasks, things that are basically some small challenges to understand to which level can a person rise to, how much can they actually deliver in different fronts. so that you can understand where they are at in their professional capabilities and how much you can put on their shoulders. You want, as a leader, in order to help them learn, you want to put a little bit more than they can actually carry. Not too much that they stress and break, and not too little that they get into the comfort zone, because that won't ignite their inner light. So opening room for experimentation and failure, and teaching how to have the right mindset for failure, is really important. So we must open room for people to fail forward. There is no true experimentation without pain or discomfort. And for last of all, people only learn when they are ready. So as much as we want to bring learning opportunities into the project, the opportunity is as far as we can go as design leaders. Learning is up to them, is up to how much they want to own it and show up. So it's important to show them that they need to take on that challenge, which takes me to my next point of pride, is how people shine and how we actually acknowledge their value. And pride, it's intrinsically connected to the moments where you allow people to be seen. So it's creating, to the measure that they can take. It can be on internal smaller things, presenting to their peers within team sessions or ideation sessions, or depending on the moment, you can even take it to clients workshop, big presentation, even to C-levels. So allowing this person to take the stage, share the stage, and also when you onboard them first in the project, how you give them this challenge or this role and this responsibility that will help them understand the value that they bring. I think that one of the things that also happens very often in projects is that people within the teams run around like headless chickens, and everyone is trying to make a mark. Everyone wants to be creative. Everyone wants to bring ideas. And as a leader, more often than not, you get lost, and it's also become your sole job to be the connector and the digestive system of that chaos of ideas and production. So when you onboard the person from the beginning of the project and you show them, this is why you are valuable to this project, this is what I want you to achieve, and you give them that target, you also need to allow them the room to share how they are achieving that target. And I think that this is very crucial for us to create empowerment in the team, and create the right systems and structures that will actually drive you to the best outcome possible in a project. So ownership requires a sense of agency. If we as leaders sometimes struggle a lot that people that we are working with, that are in the projects with us or in our teams, are not owning the challenge, they're not delivering, sometimes it's because we as leaders are not opening space enough for them to have that agency. Maybe we're not actually willing to hear their point of view or their thinking around what should be done. So how you set these space and how you set these, what I'm borrowing the terms of liberating structures. If you haven't heard of it, you should Google. They have amazing team dynamics. And I love this term because it's structures that sometimes we think that could be traditional or constraining within the design world, within the creative work, that can actually be liberating, because once you feel like there is a structure in place and you are an integral part of that structure, then you can feel liberated to be your best self. And those liberating structures come with clear roles and achievable challenges for each person that is in that project with you or in that team with you. And never forget to share the stage and the credits, because you're a leader, you're not the only designer in that project, in that team. Which makes us come to the last point of connection, which is how people belong and how you create a sense of shared purpose. And connection, I think it's the one that is the most meaningful to me. Throughout all of it, it's a little bit of an element that is on all the other three that we just talked about. Sorry. And we do that a lot here in Atelier as well. Atelier taught me through many different types of activities and many different ways of coming together, the importance of painting this picture of the shared purpose that we are all trying to achieve, and coming up with this message and this true intent that we are in this together. And I think that's what makes this organization so valuable to me, and what makes the work that we do so special, because we feel connected. We go through a lot of difficulties. Projects are always difficult. Ambiguity is a very important thing to have in the design field. It happens in every project, and this sense of being in it together and growing in it together is where you need to invest on. And this means, also creating room for people to hear one another. I think that, team dinners, team gatherings, doing retrospectives after you deliver some important thing, or you go through a tough patch, allowing people to not only hear your point of view, but share theirs, share what should go, how they think that we should do better together, and allow them to create this vision with you. That's the things that really create connection and make people feel that we are in this together. So sharing a sense of purpose is crucial. Sharing a sense of purpose as a leader to everyone means telling them why this work matters. And I think everyone needs to understand the importance of the work that we are doing, both on the collective as well as an individual. It doesn't work if I only see this shared purpose in the collective sense if I don't understand as an individual what's in it for me. How is this also going to make an important impact in my life? So that's the purpose. And then leaving space for others to bring their vision into the process is really important as well. As already mentioned through other points a little bit, I think that if you come to this project or this team or this organization with a very set idea of what you want to achieve, and what you actually want is people to just operate as robots to deliver that vision, then you're not really creating any room for agency. If you want to lead people to truly create something that is coming from them, then you need to also share the space in terms of what the future should look like. And for me, the best collective work and the most rewarding part is when I can see that what came out of it is part of everyone's contribution. It's not just, it has a little bit of me, and it has a little bit of a whole lot of everyone else. And I think that creates that shared pride as well, and sense of achievement that makes everything worth it. So looking ahead, for me, what's still there to learn is, I think, managing the time for release. Sometimes when we are in projects crunches, time is really hard to administrate and measure. And when you're getting there to the finish line, push people to produce, and sometimes you need to take a step back and help the team blow off steam, even if it's a karaoke night for the team or something, so that they can actually relax, and then the good work flows. Feedbacks are always hard, and I think there's a lot of tools already available for how to give feedback, but very little about how to receive it. And I think as leaders, we need to receive it. And the hard part of giving it is also we don't know how the person on the other side will receive it. So feedbacks are tricky, and it's an art that I think we master throughout time. and taking joy through others. As a leader, I think the more senior you get in an organization or in a project, the less you get to actually do. And we all become designers because we love the craft, we love the work and the joy of actually doing something, creating, researching, ideating, prototyping. And through time, through maturities, seeing the people that you've been mentoring, coaching, or leading do the work and feel the joy through them. I think it's something that I'm also learning. So in a nutshell, for me, true leadership in design requires allowing the process and the people to teach you and change you, and fostering a fertile ground for creativity in your team requires a two-way vulnerability. So in order for you to take the best of someone, you need to put your best as well. So in order to ignite transformation in others, you need to be willing to be transformed as well. That's it. And thank you so much. This is my email if anyone wants to reach out and continue the conversation.
Perfect, Carla. We'll put that in the chat as well if you're comfortable with that. I just had one question for you before we close our session, because we do still have a couple of minutes. And it is going back to what you were saying about signature moments. I wonder if you, as a design leader, had a signature moment or an aha moment where you realized, I am a design leader, where you were able to acknowledge your leadership role in your job or in your professional life.
I think that when we talk about signature moments in leadership, in design leadership, they all come into the non-Instagrammable moments, let's say. It's not the big shiny things that are out there in the world, but to me, the thing I value the most is the small gestures. And a personal one was hearing from a colleague these days that he was really excited to get to work with me and learn from me in a mentorship program that we were starting. And he said that there was apparently a term that I didn't know in the organization that was that I was like a shaper. So he was very happy to be part of that shaping process with me. And that really touched me. So that is one of the moments where I'm like, oh wow, like there I am a leader in this organization. Then what I'm showing people and teaching people is actually valued and valuable to them, that they carry that through life and they feel like they've been shaped by me to some extent. So I say that with all humility possible. And I really appreciate, because they shape me as much as I shape them, I guess.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. And thank you so much, Carla, for your contribution today.